You know when you're reading something and a sentence just jumps off the page? Like it paints this picture in your head that's so clear you can practically see it, feel it. Well, that's not an accident. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret weapons writers use to do that. We're talking about figures of speech.
Okay, let's look at this. On one hand, you have the moon was bright. I mean, sure, it gets the job done. It's a fact. But then you get this. The moon glows like a silver lantern. Wow. Now that's different, right? All of a sudden, it's not just a fact. It's an image. It has a mood, a feeling. That's the magic we're getting into today.
And that's really the best way to think about it. These aren't just, stuffy terms you had to memorize for a test. Think of them as the actual tools in a writer's toolbox. They're the special effects, the sound mix, the color grading, all the things a writer uses to build a world that feels real using nothing but words and your imagination. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll meet the comparison crew. Then, we'll get into how writers bend reality to make a point. After that, we'll listen for the music of words, see how all these tools work together in a real example, and by the end, you'll have a brand new lens for reading. Okay, first up, let's open that toolbox and grab the comparison crew. These are the go-to tools for making connections, for helping us understand one thing by comparing it to another. And there are two big ones you've probably heard of, simile and metaphor. So what's the difference? It's actually pretty simple, but it's a big deal. A simile uses like or as. It's saying, hey, this thing is kind of like this other thing. So her smile was as bright as the sun. It's a comparison. A metaphor, though, it's way more direct. It just says one thing is another thing. No like or as. The world is a stage. See the difference? One suggests a link, the other one just smashes them together in your mind. It's powerful stuff. All right, let's dig a little deeper into the toolbox. Now we're getting to the tools that writers use when they want to, bend the rules of reality a little bit. This is all about creating a huge impact or just making a scene feel way more imaginative. And we've got two great examples here. First, personification. This is when you give human qualities to something that isn't human, like the wind whispered. The wind doesn't have lips, right? But saying it whispered makes the scene feel alive, maybe a little spooky. Then you've got hyperbole. This is just pure over-the-top exaggeration. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. You're not actually going to eat a horse, but it gets the point across way better than saying I'm very hungry, doesn't it? Okay, so we've talked about tools for comparing things and tools for bending reality. Now let's talk about tools for your ears, because sometimes it's not just about what the words mean, it's about how they sound when you put them together. This is where writing starts to feel like music. So there are a few key players here. Alliteration is probably the one you remember from school. It's when the words start with the same sound. Think Peter Piper picked a peck. Easy enough. Assonance is a little trickier. It's the repetition of vowel sounds inside the words. Hear the I sound in the light of the fire is a sight? That's assonance. And consonance is pretty similar, but with consonant sounds. Mike likes his new bike. That K sound ties it all together. It's subtle, but it adds to the rhythm. And then you have the most fun sound tool of them all, onomatopoeia. These are just words that sound like what they are. It's the writer's cheat code for putting a sound directly from the page into your head. I mean, you can't read these without hearing them, can you? Buzz, sizzle, tick. It's like they skip the language part of your brain and go straight to the sound effects department. It's such a cool and simple way to pull you into the scene. All right, our toolbox is officially packed. We know what the tools are, we know what they do. Now for the fun part. Let's see how a writer actually uses them, mixing and matching to create something amazing. So let's go all the way back to that sentence we started with. The moon glows like a silver lantern in the night sky. Just picture that for a second. It feels kind of calm, kind of gentle, right? So which tool from our kit is the writer using here? Yep, you got it. It's our buddy, the simile. That little word like is the giveaway. By comparing the moon to a lantern, we get this image of a soft, contained glow. It feels so much more specific and intimate than just saying the moon was bright. Okay, next line of the story. The stars twinkled with a knowing smile. Whoa, suddenly the stars aren't just little dots of light. They feel alive, like they're in on a secret. How in the world did the writer do that? That is the power of personification.
Stars don't smile, obviously, but by giving them that human action, the writer completely changes the vibe. It goes from just a description of a night sky to something magical.
Now try this one. Say it out loud if you can. Families feast and follow the faith. Hear that? There's a beat to it, a little bit of music. That's alliteration doing its thing. That repeated F sound, families, feast, follow, faith, it ties all those big ideas together. It makes the sentence roll off the tongue. It's just so satisfying to hear. All right, last one from our little story here. The delicious aroma of the feast could draw people from miles away. Now, come on, could a smell really travel for miles? Not likely. So what's the game here? What's the writer up to? You know it. They're pulling out the hyperbole. It's not supposed to be literal. The whole point of that exaggeration is to make you feel how good that food smelled. It wasn't just tasty, it was travel for miles and leave your home delicious. It communicates the feeling, not the fact. So there you have it. We've gone through the toolbox, we've seen the tools in action. So what? What does this all mean for you? Well, it means you've basically just gotten a new pair of glasses, a new lens for looking at the world of words. And here's the biggest thing I want you to walk away with. This stuff isn't just for poets or old novels. It's everywhere. It's how we make our language pop, how we make people feel things, and how we make ideas memorable. You're going to start spotting this stuff in your favorite songs and commercials, even in texts from your friends. It's a fundamental part of how we talk to each other. So consider this your new mission, should you choose to accept it. Become a language detective. Just go about your day, but keep your ears open. Listen for those clever comparisons, those wild exaggerations, that little bit of music in the words people use. So I'll just leave you with this one question to kick things off. What's the best figure of speech you're going to hear today?